characteristic that can easily come into our lives as human beings is complacency, where we become satisfied with how we are and what we're doing and just feel that we're okay. St. Paul, in the first reading, is reminding his followers, he's praising them for their holiness. He's praising them for the fact that they have been faithful to the gospel as they heard it. But he goes on to say, but don't stop there. You still must become better. You still need to grow more in holiness. We're constantly growing in holiness. With humility, we recognize the fact that we cannot do that ourselves. We are humbly accept that only God can make us holy. So then how do we become holy? Well, certainly by putting our lives into the hands of God. When we need natural food for growth. A child doesn't grow if they don't have good food to eat. And in a similar way, we need the body and blood of the Eucharist to grow spiritually. We don't realize how growth takes place. We're not aware of it when we eat natural food. But when we eat the Eucharist, as Jesus tells us to do, we have to open our hearts and our minds to Him and allow Him to bring about holiness within us. It means we have to follow His teachings in the Scriptures. We have to try to live as Jesus did. And if we do, then the Eucharist makes us grow in holiness. It's an antidote to sin. The Eucharist gives us the food and nourishment so that we can be healed from sin we've committed, and it also gives us spiritual growth. When the gospel were the 10 virgins, 5 wise and 5 foolish, and we might on the surface look at this and say, why didn't the 5 share their oil with the others? Why did they not share it? The reason is that it's symbolic. I cannot give you anything of my spiritual growth. I can share with you many things, but I can't give it to you so that you'll grow. You have to accept it. And I think this is what Jesus was saying in the gospel, that you do not know the day or the hour, so be prepared. Be prepared for when the Lord comes. And only we can have that preparedness within us. No one else can give it to us. We can pray for each other, we can do good for each other, but at the same time, we can't do the growth that only we can do. Hope that we understand that. So today, the Scriptures remind us that the Sacred Heart of Jesus tells us that God loves us with His whole heart. It's the most beautiful and profound symbol of God's love for us, the Sacred Heart. From the bottom of His heart, He loves us. And He so much so that He gives us His body and blood as food in the Eucharist for our spiritual growth and our holiness. So we're grateful today to be able to be here and be with the Lord and to receive His body and His blood. Let us stand and offer our prayers and petitions.